Nancy's blood sugar continued to fall. In fact, it fell so much that it became clear that her medications were now too strong for her. The combination of the drugs she had been taking, along with the new powerful diet changes, actually left her blood sugar too low. It was time to reduce her medications. But as we cut back on her doses, it turned out not to be enough. After several more months, we had to stop one of them altogether. A little more than a year after joining the study, she was 40 pounds lighter. She was on one diabetes medication, not two. It remains to be seen if she can eliminate the second one. And even though she is taking less medication, her A1C is better than it was before, 6.8% at her last test. The payoff is just incredible, she said. But it's not just the weight loss. My numbers have gotten dramatically better. And there was more. Another benefit she had not anticipated. For years, she had had arthritis pain so severe she could not open a jar. After a few months of a new diet, she suddenly realized that her arthritis symptoms were completely gone. There is actually a fascinating body of scientific literature on diet and arthritis, which I summarized in an earlier book, Foods That Fight Pain. The best part of the story: Nancy's experience is not unusual for people who make the diet changes you will hear about shortly. Vance. Vance was just 31 years old when he was diagnosed with diabetes. He had just changed to a new doctor, and the diagnosis came after a routine blood test. Both of his mother's parents had had the disease, but up until that point, Vance had been in more or less good health. He had been a police officer for 12 years and now worked in a bank, and he was not in the habit of calling in sick. Diabetes changed everything. If I didn't lose a leg or go blind, I could end up on dialysis, he said. And the truth was, he was not in such perfect shape. He had gradually gained weight over the years, and at just under 6 feet tall, he weighed 276 pounds. I didn't really take my diet or my health very seriously, he said. I grew up on steak sandwiches, pork chops, and chicken. We had barbecues and cookouts. We had some vegetables, but not a lot of fresh foods. I didn't exercise. I just didn't take any of this very seriously. Along with weight problems came difficulties with sexual performance. Impotence affects many men with diabetes and is common in men who are overweight. His doctor started him on metformin, a commonly prescribed medication for reducing blood sugar. Vance learned about our research study and decided to volunteer, despite a few misgivings about the prospect of changing his diet. I never had any diet restrictions or rules before, he said. I never tried to control my diet before. I always ate whatever I wanted. But his wife had been a vegetarian for some time, and she was excited that Vance was ready for a change, too. The payoff came pretty quickly. His weight started to fall, and over a year's time, he lost, to his surprise, about 60 pounds. His A1C, which had been 9.5% at the beginning of the study, fell to 7.1% after just 2 months. 14 months into the study, it had dropped to 5.3%. His doctor was thrilled and said it was time to stop the metformin. One more surprise. His problems with sexual performance virtually disappeared within 3 months. I haven't been in this good shape since I was in the police academy. It is like a weight has been lifted off of me, he said. When I told my mother what I was doing, that I had changed my diet, she was so happy she nearly cried, because my dad died at 30. When my grandfather died, I was the oldest male in my immediate family. We tend to check out pretty quick. But she saw I was on a different path. I was taking care of myself. Taking control. The diet Nancy and Vance embraced, and that I hope you are about to begin, is designed to do much more than simply palliate diabetes as other diets do. It is designed to tackle the fundamental causes of the disease. As those who participated in our study learned, blood sugar levels that creep steadily upward can also fall. The road to diabetes is, in fact, a two-way street. Whether you have type 2 diabetes and want to gain control of your health, or have type 1 diabetes and need to reduce the disease's intrusion on your life, this program was designed with you in mind. However, our research and this book also targets a broader purpose. More and more people, including a surprising number of children, are diagnosed with diabetes every day. They and their families pay a high personal price for dealing with the condition. And clinics, health maintenance organizations, insurers, and government programs, particularly Medicare and Medicaid, are struggling to keep up with prescription costs, doctor visits, and hospitalization charges for its many complications. For many people at risk, it is simply a matter of time before they are diagnosed. It is our hope that a new direction in diet and nutrition, if applied broadly enough, can go a long way toward solving these problems. This program is truly a revolution in the way we think about this otherwise unforgiving disease. Diabetes is no longer a condition you simply have to live with. It need not slowly and inevitably get worse. Quite the opposite. If you have diabetes, it is time for you to get your life back. We will not cater to your diabetes. Rather, this program is designed to help you understand the cause of diabetes and how to correct it to the fullest extent that diet and lifestyle changes possibly can. If you do not have the disease but are at risk, this is a powerful program for preventing it. Is this program for me? You may be asking. The answer is an emphatic yes. Here's why. Whether you like to cook or prefer to eat at restaurants, you can easily make the diet changes you need. I make this point because some people imagine that changing their diet means making every meal in their own kitchens. Translation: hours and hours of work. If you inwardly groan at that thought, I certainly sympathize. I learned long ago that my temperament is not suited to cooking. Perhaps I was born with the room service gene, and maybe you were too. So, I will show you how to plan a healthful menu and how to make it work for you whether or not you like to cook. Many of our research participants travel, eat at restaurants, or eat in their company cafeterias. This program worked for them, and it can work for you. It does not matter whether you love exercise or have never been able to stick with an exercise plan. The improvements we've just described were made without exercise. In fact, all of our research studies omit exercise because we need to isolate the effect of diet changes in order to put them to a good test. Having said that, exercise is an important part of any diabetes treatment regimen, and this book will show you how to bring it into your life in a sensible, safe, and effective way. If, however, you are unable to engage in significant exercise because of joint problems, a heart condition, or severe obesity, or if you find you're just not able to stick with an exercise program, you will be glad to know that the benefits of our diet change are not dependent on any alteration of your activity levels. If you have felt that you just cannot stick with a diet, I completely understand. That's why we will focus solely on what you eat, not how much. You can eat until you are full and have snacks when you want them. You will have to invest some energy, however. You will have to learn to think about food in new ways, and you will have to unlearn some old, outdated notions. And if you have been overweight, it is very likely that you will have to buy some new clothes. What does it mean to reverse diabetes? Most people with diabetes find themselves on a road leading toward gradually increasing weight, slowly rising blood sugar, higher doses of medications, and worsening complications. Reversing diabetes means reversing this trend. If weight is an issue, it can come down, gradually but decisively. Blood glucose values that have gone up can also come down. Doses of medications that have risen again and again can come down too. Symptoms such as neuropathy, nerve pain in the feet and legs, can improve and even disappear. Heart disease can be reversed. Will the disease go away completely? Some people would argue that once someone has diabetes, that person will always have it, even if blood tests improve so much that the condition is no longer diagnosable. What they mean is that the genetic traits that made type 2 diabetes possible do not go away, and type 1 diabetes requires continued insulin treatments regardless of how well you adjust your diet. It is not possible to say in advance how far you can go. Will you be able to reduce your medication doses? Eliminate some or perhaps all of your medications? Or drive your blood sugar down so far that no one would ever know you once had diabetes? These are questions your own experience will answer. But I can promise this book will teach you what you need to know about putting a powerful food prescription to work. The rest of the story is yours to write. I would be very grateful if you would let others know what you are doing and perhaps lend this book to your friends or family members who have diabetes. We know that we can turn this disease around for individuals, but conquering an international epidemic is a tall order, and it requires a team effort. I hope you will join in this important cause, along with health professionals, research participants, and their families. Thank you, and the very best of luck with this program.